Good evening, welcome to On the Level Racing channel. Sorry it's a bit late, guys. It's just gone 11 o'clock. Been really busy sorting other things out with work. So really, without poncing about here at all, we're going to go straight into the first day at Ascot, where we have the Queen and Stakes, the Group One, and really we might just say, well, here we go, Charlie Appleby, take the race, modern games. As if we stick to the trends. The horse has already won a good trial for this race, which obviously was the Lockinge when beating Chindit by 11.5. Back in third was Berkshire Shadow. Now, I've had a good look at this race. Um, Modern Games, he set off the pace, came around the bend, took a very gutsy move by William Buick down the rail and went away and won the race by 11.5 going away. Chindit, for me, seems another horse that again can go around the round course. Has won on the straight course here at Ascot. So there's no reason why this horse is not a big price as well. But the concern for me, Chindit, is he's just fell short of a Group One race. Not quite good enough. Same as Barker Shadow. Again, another horse that just hasn't, come out of the shadows of trying to win a top quality class draw race as this. Um, yeah, modern games for me, he ticks all the boxes, doing everything right, and really deserves to be a very strong favourite here. Um, However, if we wanted to really take the Charlie Appleby's horse on here, I mean, in Spiral, now this horse has drifted right to 9-4 with Betfred. The horse is now quite an appealing price because it was 7-4 yesterday. Wasn't very impressive here last time over the mile when beating the QE2. Didn't really get in the race at all. Never went over the straight course. Um, Frankie missed a break by about 2.5, 3 lengths. Yeah, it wasn't really a strong run race. However, um, the horse she didn't really pick up. But then again, you could probably give a few excuses on the race. But it was good to soft. It was. I thought it was personally soft there, not just good. I would like to think that she is better than that. She proved last year when she landed the Coronation Stakes at this meeting by 4 3/4 lengths, and gosh, she was impressive on the fast ground. And I really think that John Goslin's got it right here. He's basically targeted this race. I mean, she's been off now 250 plus days. She's going to be coming in really fresh, and I think yeah, Frankie's going to get another winner, another Group One, and to add to his tally, he's already this season already. Um, so yeah, I think she is the one to beat. She is going to be the first filly to land this race since 2016 when Tepin won this race. Tepin. So yeah, the fillies haven't really got a good record here, but however, she's a quite special, I think. Um, Another one in this race, Cash, who was last seen finishing runner up. Two chinned it over the course and distance in the Paradise Stakes. That was only a listed event. Um, and I do think, like I said, I think at 9-4 now, in Spiral is definitely a bet worth taking. I mean, Frank is in great form at the moment. And for me, I mean, you can get 9-4 William Hill. You can even get Modern Games at 9-4. I mean, but the both two top in the market have drifted with some of the firms. But obviously, William Hill being very, very generous here with 9-4. There are some firms here if you want looking for an each way bet. Bet Big Tour running 4 places, 50 odds. So over time, I would probably have a little look there at maybe Cash for an each way bet if you like a nice big price horse. It's back you can get right 16s, 18s for Sky Bet. But the 4 places are being paid with Bet Big Tour 16-1. 50 odds, so that's not a bad little bet as well. But yeah, I think she's a classy filly in Spiral. Um, think she's a horse that we could definitely see at the Breeders' Cup this year. So yeah, that's where my bet will be going in the first race. I'm going to go Steven into her here, a 3 point win. She's going to be my next best bet of the day, and that's a 3 point win on his Spiral to land the Queen Anne Stakes at 9 to 4 with William Hill. I do think she's definitely definitely classy filly. If we go on to the Coventry Stakes next, I'll just get this up first. Give me a second. So we've got the Coventry Stakes. I'm just getting the trends up here, guys, go along. So we're going to go by the trends first, and then obviously we'll just peter out a few stuff here. So it says here the positives in this race is an unbeaten, preferably one run or one win, trained by Aidan O'Brien and Richard Hannon. I'm a bit concerned about the Aidan O'Brien horses due to the fact that considering at the races this week there was a bet with some firms saying 30 to 1. You can get 30 to 1 on any O'Brien having a winner here at the Ascot, training a winner at the Ascot Festival. They say the favourite's got quite a good record in this race, drawing the highest or the lowest 3 stalls, and winner of a Newbury Maiden race. Then I don't think there's any horse in this race that's won a Newbury Maiden. We're going to take that out of the trends completely. As for the draw, if we look at the favourite here, which is River Tiber, which is representing Aidan O'Brien, we just find it here. So basically, she's coming out of stall. He's coming out of stall 6. And also very short price for this race. He's currently standing around at 15 to 8. I think too short for my liking, especially in a race of this nature. Excuse me, guys. I've got the bourbon on flow. Richard Hannon, and they say Richard Hannon's quite positive in this race. So if we have a look at what Richard Hannon's got in this race now, so just go through it. So he's got Hatem, which, be honest, Charlie, Hatem's not got the class to win this race. Not a Group 2. I think it's more of a listed horse for me. Listed maybe Group 3 if you're lucky. He's got nothing really. He's got the Camden Colt, which again wasn't impressed last time out when he finished in 7th. It's beaten quite away. For me, I can't really have any Irish horses here. You've got Wesley Ward here, horses Fandom. Again, didn't really win much over in America. No horse here, Chief Manicato for Charlie Hills. James McDonald, the Australian jockey, comes over. Last seen when winning a average novice stakes, 18 to 1 at Windsor back in May. Got a good draw though there. Bobsleigh was quite impressive last time for Eve Johnson Houghton, but the horse I like in this race, I think has got a lot of potential. I don't know actually how you pronounce his last name. Is it George Bouguet? Is it? I don't know how you pronounce it. But William Buick comes in for the ride. Not great storm, but drawing stall 17, which I think is a plus like that. Is like the trends did suggest. For out of 5 to 2, last scene was winning on David Ripham over 6 furlongs on good ground and did it quite impressive with 12 lengths. We don't know how good the race was because like Valadero hasn't done anything since Jesmond. There's no form line there, to be honest with me. I mean, most of these ain't got no form line, not really, not anything that stands out. But I think this Azadana could definitely be a useful type. Definitely got to turn a foot and could be the one to be on here to take on the favourite. It's quite a few big prizes. They're not really. They've gone for 3 in the top bet in here. River Time at 15 away as Adana as Edna as Adna. I mean, you pronounce it. And you've got Give Me the Big Boys, which obviously is written by Frank Dettori. For Irish trainer Jessica Harrington. The stable's not really firing at the moment. I mean, she had a couple of wins in Ireland, but she's not really winning the big races. Unbeaten in 2 runs. Last seen winning the Marble Hill Stakes over at the Curragh when beating Notja Magica, which was quite frustrating because I actually tipped Noshima G Crop that day. Um, but yeah, got the whole 6 furlongs. But I don't think good enough to win this race. It's a big step up from Group 3 to Group 1 so quickly. Probably be winning a race going back down to Group 3 company. So my bet's going to be here in the Coventry Stakes is going to be definitely Asedna for William Buick and George Bouguet. Um, I do think they've got a nice draw and straw 17. So yeah, that would be my bet. That'd be a 2 point win. You can currently get 3 to 1 William Hill. So yeah, 2 point win at 3 to 1 on Azedna in the Coventry Stakes. Next, we move on to the King Stan Stakes, number Group 1. Again, we're going to go through the trends. We just go through the trends, guys, first, and then obviously we can just cipher it out as we go along. So if we bring it down to the trends, so according to this, it's the last time out winner, which probably a few of these have probably got here. Yeah, you got Chipstead, you've got the likes of Coolangatta, which is the Australian contender. You've got Twilight Gleaming, and you've got Dramatised. I actually thought Dramatised or Carl Burke. I mean, Carl Burke's side stayed with her really well, and Dramatised did show a good turn of foot. She was really smart when she pulled quite clearly at Haydock last time out when landing the Temple Stakes. The Temple Stakes is quite a good yardstick for this race. I think there's more to come from her. She was 4-1 favourite that day. William Buick rode the ride, but sadly, William Buick has deserted her this time, which is my concern, especially with Danny Tullope on it. I mean, Danny Tullope's not been riding that great recently. Yeah, that was my concern is the jockey change because the fact that William Buick, I mean, I don't know if Buick's got riding this race. Yeah, he has. He's got equilateral for Charlie Hills, who actually finished a good second behind Dramatised in that Temple second. And it's recently come out again, running very well in the Akili Stakes that Haydock behind a horse called Regional. Regional's looks quite an exceptional horse going forward. Um, if we look here, yeah, so that's pretty good form, equilateral. And the fact that he's drawn in stall 6, which is not a negative, really, for this race. Yeah, William Buick definitely could have a very, very good first day if he gets to run the mill. I think we've got to have a good look at John Quinn's horse here, Highfield Princess. I mean, if we look at her run last time out, I mean, did Jason Hart go too quickly in the Duke of York Stakes? Probably did so. I think he basically tried to outpoint them from the start and just got caught at home by Azure Blue. Azure Blue, we actually tipped up that day. So for me to tip up Azure Blue in Highfield Prince only losing by half a length probably tells me, considering she was given £5 to the winner and going down by that short margin, it's pretty impressive run. And the fact that she's dropping back to 6 5 furlongs this time around, I think she could be the one to beat him. If we go back, she ran in the Jubilee Stakes last year here. We finished in 6th, Enable Crown. He lost by a length and a half. So yeah, I think the drop back to 5 furlongs is a very, very shrewd move because she's got plenty of speed. And I definitely think she is going to be one here to beat. Obviously, you've got to respect the horse from Australia and the Coolangatta, who obviously they brought over Black Caviar to win this race. Again, last seen winning over at Flemington when winning the Black Caviar Lightning Stakes by half a length. I mean, I actually watched that race and I wasn't really overly impressed the way she won. I think that was over 4 furlongs, 210 yards or something. So yeah, she was being closed down in the final stages. And then the fact that will she get this quick 5 furlongs in? It's possible, but I think she's very vulnerable because she did not. She's going to get caught within the last 10 yards. She just saw it out. So for me, I'm nepping this horse. I think she's a classy mare. It's a 4 point win. This is on Highfield Princess to land the Kingstand Stakes. You can currently get her at 9-4 with Paddy Power. Yeah, I think she's a good bet. That's my nap of the day. And that is Highland Princess, 4 point win at 9-4 with Bet365 and Paddy Power also. There's a few firms doing it 9-4. William Hill is as short as 2-1. If we go on to the next race, which is the St James's Paddock Stakes, which is the feature on the cards for the first day. Again, we will go through the trends like I promised. Just flag them up first. So it says here, basically, running both the English and Irish 2000 guineas. Now, if we go through this form, as we know, Chaldean won the guineas over here. Isaac Shelby went over and just got beaten in the French. And Paddington went and landed the Irish equivalent recently. So they're really the three horses we should be looking at. Or do we look outside the box and think, okay, let's look at the horses that ran in the Guineas here in the Newmarket and the Curragh, and how well they do. So if we look at example here, Royal Scotsman, there was a lot of money. There was a lot of money and a lot of tipping going around for this horse on the day. It was quite a bit of money around for it over the for the 2000 guineas at Newmarket. Was only beaten just over 2 lengths to Chaldean. And ran a cracking race. Stayed on all the way to the line. That was on soft ground. Prior to this, and then it came out over and ran in the 2000 guineas in Ireland. Wasn't so smart this time around. A couple of forms were reversed. Galeron reversed the form. Shireen's reversed the form. High Royal stable the form. And didn't really get in the race whatsoever. I mean, I just think the whole thing was badly drawn in stall 7. Didn't really act on the course whatsoever, and probably went against him a bit. So I mean, I wouldn't write Royal Scotsman off at all for Paul Cole to run a big race. If another trend here, it says here, a Group 1 winner, especially a European Guineas. Now, Isaac Shelby, as we know, just got touched off in that Guineas, short head in Longchamp back on the 14th of May. Prior to that, had won at Newbury when taking the Greenham Stakes. And it was an unbeaten juvenile as well when landed a Group 2 superlative stakes over 7 furlongs. The question is, does this horse get a stiff mile? That's my question. I mean, Sean Levy's probably kicking himself. This time William Buick comes in ride. No Sean Levy. So it's an interesting jockey change by Brian Meanham to try and get the prize. I do think the horses are way overpriced, around 12-1. Another positive is the favourite, of course. Obviously, the favourite in this race is going to be Chaldean. I mean, Paddington's there very close, 2-1, 5-2. There's only about half a point between them in the market. Another positive here is trained by Aidan O'Brien, especially contested the Irish 2000 guineas. This would point straight into Paddington, who actually won the 2000 guineas in Ireland. Drawn low. Now, Paddington's managed to stand at a stall 8 here, where Royal Scotsman's got stall 4, Shelby's got stall 3, and Chaldean's got the best stall in stall 1. Won last season's Coventry or Dewhurst Stakes. And as we well know, that was won by, obviously, Chaldean, who just beat Royal Scotsman by a head. So, looking at the race, the horse, the each way money, it has to be Royal Scotsman. It has to be. I mean, due to the fact that he was beaten in Dewhurst by a head by Chaldean. Secondly, he ran in the Guineas and finished third. in the English 2000, and came out. And I think you can put a line through his run in the Irish one. Just if he handled the course. So Royal Scotsman is a very, very big price to have a go at this race. Um, am I willing to take the top two off in the market? Yeah, I am. I mean, um, I'm going to go for two in this race against the field here, and two good prices as well. I'm going to probably a point each way on both. So I'm going to point each way on Isaac Shelby. You can currently get prices of around 70 to 2 with William Hill, which is about like 8.5 to 1. Um, and you get 9 to 1, as much as 9 to 1 Betfred. And I'm going to have another point each way on Roll Scotsman because I do think this horse has shown ability in three major trials for this race. I can't see why he shouldn't run well again. You can get 12 to 1 with him with a couple of firms. If it's 12 to 1 with Bet365. So that'd be 1 point each way on Isaac Shelby at 9s. And at 1 point each way on Royal Scotsman at 12 to 1. Hopefully Jamie Spencer can get a pure good ride out of Royal Scotsman this time around. So we got two bets in the St James Palace, the big race on the day. Next we're going to get hit by fucking big fields now, guys. So this is not going to be an easy task to try and pick winners out of here. So as I was saying, guys, sorry. So we go to the Ascot Stakes, over just shy of 2.5 miles. And we really have to take one look at one horse here, which is trained by Willie Mullins. This horse was so unlucky not to land this race last year, and that is Bring on the Night. Should have really won this race. I mean, you look at the stats of this horse. Okay, this horse obviously mixes up the jumping and on the flat. So I'm going to go through the horse's form since joining Mullins. Okay, this is how likely race this horse is. So came out, won at Naas, won over 15.5 furlongs, a maiden hurdle, when beating a horse called Snake Oil, by a quality 8 lengths. That horse went on to win an average maiden at Fairyhouse. If we take that out of the equation, because it was their debut round, and then we go to what he ran in next. So, fourth last year to Constitutional Hill in the Supreme Novices Hurdle. Okay, yeah, he was beaten by 32 lengths, 33 lengths, but finished fourth in probably one of the best Supreme Novices you've seen for a while, especially the horse that won it, 22 lengths, Constitutional Hill. And then he came out to Punchestown and running in a average hurdle and was beaten again, but again beaten quite fair, beaten about 16 lengths to a horse called El Fabiolo, another Cheltenham winner. And then he was sent to this race last year, back on the flat, and he was beaten 3 parts of a length to a horse called Coltrane. At off-level weights, I mean, as we well know, Coltrane is fancied for this week, and he's won the Cigarro Stakes already this year. So form line is absolutely fantastic. So I can't see a reason why Bring It on the Night shouldn't be the horse to beat in this race. We shouldn't be really looking anywhere else to really. I mean, everything's pretty exposed in the race, so really you should be looking at jump trainers here. So if we go through the stats again. I'm trained by a primarily jumps-based stable. So as we know, obviously Willie Mullins is. We'll take a look at another well-renowned trainer here who has got another. Where are we? Let me just look, guys. So here we go. So Nicky Henderson, William Buick, horse with no name. If we look at it here, so he's more of a flat horse, not really a well-known jump horse, but however went to Cheltenham in March, and finished 10th in the Henry Jack de Bromhead mares novices hurdle, the Grade Two, which is the Dawn Run mares hurdle, and then came out again at Cheltenham back in April to win a listed novices hurdle. Um, so and he is a York and a Newbury winner of a marks of 1886. We'll probably have to step up off the current mark of 96, but I do think bring on the night. It can't be. It can't beat this. I mean, I can't see anything beating this horse in the race. And this is going to be my next best bet in the race of the old white day. This is going to be another 2 point win at 9 to 4 William Hill. It's a 2 point win, 9 to 4 William Hill. I don't need to go through my overseas stats anyway. I think bring on the night, Ryan Moore. They've come back to win this race, and I can't see a reason why they can't land it and put it down it quite comfortably. So on to the 5:35, which is the Wolverton Stakes. Another big field. Stick a pin in. We'll go for the trends of this race. We might just get stuck in here. There's not many trends for it, to be honest. Oh, that missed a hole. So they're saying here basically 4-year-olds. So if you go through the field here, sorry, 4-year-olds. So there's only one, two, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's about six in here. A single figure draw. So if we look at a single figure draw here, you're going to have to go with. Let's have a look here. Francesco Clementi, which is John Gosden's horse. We'd have to look at. So Saga of John Gosden's. Also, so really, John Gosden's got quite a good hand here. I mean, Saga is ridden by Dettori, and probably the second string, which is Francesco Clementi, which is ridden by Richard Havlin. It says here, respect John and Thady Gosden and Charlie Johnson and Ed Dunlop. So let's just look at the two John Gosden contenders here. So firstly, we look at a horse called Francesco Clementi, which is around 5 to 1 in the market, trained nicely by John Gosden, nicely signed by Debawi. Distance should not be a problem whatsoever. Nicely drawn in stall 5. Last seen when coming out and finishing second, a neck behind a horse called King of Conquest in the William Hill Festival Stakes, listed at Goodwood back on the 27th of May. And that was he was beaten fair that day at 5 to 6. Stayed on, had every chance to win the race, but it was just held by King of Conquest of Charlie Appleby's, who actually was joint second favourite that day. Prize there at one at Newmarket over the trip, when landing a average Class 2 handicap by 9 lengths. And it's the fact that he's dropped down a little bit down listed company, and then it does say here. Let's have a look at Gosden's other horse, Saga. Very lightly raced, stall 3. Last seen again behind. He also finished ahead behind King of Conquest. So if King of Conquest is quite a good yardstick for both horses, they're both gone within a head or neck behind this horse, who's rated 102 now, 106 probably now. That was in the Suffolk Stakes. Did run here at Ascot last year when finishing second in the Britannia Stakes, ahead when beaten all course cold by Thesis of the Charltons, and he was 12 to 1 that day. So consider that he's only had one race this year, which is a good second, beaten by Hen in the Sussex Stakes. So he's got good form in Ascot, not over bad. So I mean, Frankie's ridden him once at Ascot when he ran him in the Britannia Stakes when he was second. So obviously Frankie knows him better than anyone else, and Frankie's probably took the right ride here over the two Gosden horses. That's where my money's going to go. I mean, I know it's a probably typical favourite guy, and it's the Frankie Dettori horse. We've got to look at it realistically here. You know, which one's going to win the race at the two horses. I mean, we've got to look at Buckaroo, which is obviously Joseph O'Brien's horse. Um, Good fourth last time out over at Longchamp in the Prix d'Ispan. We're finishing fourth behind Enmount, which I don't really think is good form. The form for me was definitely behind Homeless Songs in the listed race back in April, when winning by a neck of a mark of 110. Um, so you can never overlook Joseph O'Brien's horse, especially when Oyster Murphy's been put to ride it. But, and then we've got to look at King of Conquest. Was beating both horses up, both Johnson's horses here by a neck and a head. Um, yeah, if we look at the weight stats here, so we've Clementi with level weights. This time he's giving Clementi £3. He's giving him about a length, and he's giving. Of course, he's going to give the other horse, Saga, the same. So really, the two Gosling horses should be reversing the form with King of Conquest this time around. I'm going to go for Saga. It's going to be a straight 1 point win of 4-1 with William Hill on Saga in the Wolverton Stakes, Frankie Dettori. Could be a good day with Frankie. Got some very, very good rides. And the final race on the day is another big handicap over mile 6, 16 declared. It's a copper horse handicap. Again, we're going to go through the trends here quite quickly. As I said, there's not many of them. Very, very simple. So the first one is from the bottom half of the handicap. Now, I was actually quite looking at this race, considering it's 4-year-olds as well, and not really any stand out here. And again, William Buick has actually probably got on a horse here. It sits into the stats fantastically. I say it's an unknown quantity race. He rides with Charlie Appleby here on a horse called Ruling Dynasty. It's drawn in stall 12. Last seen winning at Haydock when landing a novice estate class 3 by 6.5 lengths. Pretty quite smart. Was given a lot of weight that day. He was given over a stone for everything in the race. He was carrying 10 stone 8 that day. 10 stone 8, and he literally obliterated his field by 6.5 lengths. It was quite impressive. Prior to that, had one on the All-Weather. When beating a horse called El Shamak by a length and a 3/4. Nothing's really come out, so we don't know how good these horses are, really, because some of these are quite unexposed. If we look at the other 4-year-old here, which is Ed Bethel's horse with Canon Rodriguez on board, is Chillingham. 11-1, not a bad price. Store 13, box straight next door to the favourite here. Last seen last time out when winning a Class 3 handicap over a mile and a half on soft ground, and won it quite well under the jockey when giving away almost £10 the weights. So that was quite good, really. Another big win, another good win. Prior to that, had also won at Thirsk when winning in a Class 4 by 3 lengths again. Was quite impressive that day as well. So another improver. It's already won 3 times for careers. Mark of 90, probably should be a mark about 97, which he is 97. So yeah, so really on the odds, if you look at the odds of these two horses, you've got Ruling Dynasty at 4-1, and you've got Chillingham at 9s, 12-1 places. 9, 4. Well, I've got 4. Okay, it's 11-1 with Bet365, which is probably a good each way bet. But the short price horse in here, which is quite shocking. Well, Woody Mullins. Vauban. Now, we all know who Vauban is, don't we, guys? Now, Vauban, obviously, was last seen in the Paddy Power Champion Hurdle, and finishing second, 2 lengths behind State Man, which is pretty impressive, if we know. Prior to that, one at Cheltenham, finishing fourth to Constitution Hill. So, if we look at that stats, anything that runs within 15 lengths of Contour here has got to be pretty useful. But we know Vauban's been around for quite a few years. He's a 5-year-old now. It seems to be around longer than that. Um, he he's flat form. So he's flat form. Most of his form is. Let's have a look, guys. So most of his flat form was in France. He did win a couple of races on heavy and soft ground. So if this goes a bit too quick for him, and I think the horse ran so well against top quality Grade One horses on the jumps. Yeah, you've got to respect the horse with respect, and I can understand why Vauban is absolutely at the price he is. I mean, 6-4. He'd definitely send the punters home happy if that comes in. But ruining Dynasty again. You can't say with the fact that they're sort of so lightly raced. He's carrying 9 stone 4, so he's getting £4 from Vauban in this race. It's only the length and a bit, but is that length and a bit going to be quality enough? And the reason if 11 days ago since he's run, I mean, I think the race might come too quick for this ruined Dynasty, because Vauban hasn't been seen for 70 days on the flat. It's a tough one. It's a great tough one. Script writers in here as well. And we know what script is. I mean, 41 script writer. I mean, I'm surprised Tony had a bit of that. If Tony's done a bit this week, he likes a bit of script writer. But no. I mean, Berkshire Rocco there again. I think you could probably overlook the last run. Wasn't very impressive. 16-1, pretty big price. Last seen at Newmarket in a Howden handicap. We're quite disappointed in finishing 10th of 16. Has had most of the seasons on weather. Did win here at Ascot, one of the no murder stakes at a listed events. Of the market was 116 with Oisin Murphy running the plate. And Oisin Murphy is in the plate again, and off a mark of 99. This horse is actually £17 down on its ability. It's over a stone. Quite a lot. But for me, I mean, it's got to be value in this race. I mean, if we look at the odds here, what's been winning, I mean, the last two. Hang on a minute. The last two winners, 16 and 33-1. So there's price out there to snap, and I'm liking to have a little better here. So it's like really out wide. I'm gonna go at Chillingham. I just think it wasn't a bad win last time out. Did it quite impressively. Hasn't really got that much in the weights. Still improving. And I think a point each way here at a nice price of 16-1. Is it 16? Nice price of 11-1 with Bet365. Some places to play. Most of them are playing 5 places on this. So a point each way at 11-1 with 5 places, mate. I'll take that. So we're just gonna quick scamper over what I've just given out, guys, for the first day. So we go back to the 230. This is my second best bet of the day. This is my NB. It's 3 points each way on his spiral, 9-4. In the Coventry, I'm taking on the favourite here with a 2-point win at 3-1 on Hazardna. In the King's Stand Stakes, I'm making this my nap of the day, 4-point win. You can get 9-4 with Paddy Pound, Bet365, and that's on High Fielded Princess. Just the fact that she's dropping back to 5 furlongs. Very smart move by John Quinn. Main race of the day is the St James's Paddock Stakes. I'm taking on the top 2 in the market here with 2 outsiders. I'm going to have a 1 point each way at 9-1 on Isaac Shelby, and a point each way on 12-1 with Royal Scotsman. On to the 5 o'clock. This is probably my next best here. It's 2 point win on the Ascot Stakes, and that is on a horse called Bring on the Night at 9-4. In the 5:35 Worcester of Wolverton Stakes, I'm going to have a 1 point win here on Saga. Most firms are paying 4 places, but Sky Bet are paying 5, so you're looking for a bit of value in the race. Have a little look around at a horse called King of Conquest. You know, consistent horse, 9-1. You might be able to get each way bet for you, but my bet's going to be 1 point win at 4-1 on Saga. And in the final race of the day, the 6:10, the hot pot is Vauban. Again, I'm going to go a pot each way here. I'm going to point each way at 11-1 on a horse called Chillingham. You see, you can get on, so most firms are paying 5 places, so do look around for your 5 places, guys. But yeah, 1 point each way at Chillingham at 11-1. So that is my first day's selections, guys. Have a good one, have a safe one, don't spend too much, bet responsibility, and have a good day.